Hey, Shalom, Akim. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rachak with us. The bonds, the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, the elders of Great Millstone, of course. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the sincere servants of Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, of course, worshiping and serving Him in truth and sincerity, 100%. So, yeah, this is going to be a quick lesson. Basically, the Spirit jumped on me, to go Isaiah 58:1. And what does it say? It says, to start off, it says Isaiah 58:1. It says, cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. Yeah, the reason why I'm bringing this out, because, of course, it's a lot of Jakes out there. There's a lot of people, they'll understand the scripture when you're preaching, when you're prophesying this word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Speaking His word, you got to cry loud and spare not. So what does that mean? You got to bring out everything, man. One thing, of course, you got to preach loud. You can't preach, like you're whispering. Another thing, too, is, hey, you got to bring out the 100% truth out of the scriptures, or else, if you don't bring it out 100%, then you're really not even truly teaching the scriptures. You're really teaching your own thing. So either you bring out everything that's within the scriptures, or you don't. So when we get the word for cry, it says krarat. The Hebrew word is krarat. Give me a second, Nakim. Okay, it says karat, to call out, or to call out, recite, read, cry out, proclaim. Exactly. Then when you get the word spare, it says spare not. So the Hebrew word is chashak. It says to withhold, restrain, hold back, keep in train, or keep in check, refrain. Yeah, so you're not supposed to restrain on the gospel of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. You're not supposed to hold back concerning the gospel of the Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Everything is supposed to come out. It says, and show my people their transgression. So obviously, when you showing the people their transgression, it's not going to be, it's not going to be a light thing. When you're calling somebody out on their wickedness, obviously, it's going to be burdensome on the other person's ears. It's not going to sound good on the other person's ears. So what are a lot of these false prophets do out here? Of course, you see, they might got, they got a little church going. They got a congregation. Or hey, you even got some false prophets, some pastors out here, so-called pastors who they have, mega church. They got a mega congregation. But what, are they showing the people their transgression? Are they telling them, to follow after the law, statutes, and commandments? They're telling you the law is done away with. And of course, we're not saved by the law. We can't keep all the law within this captivity, but still, the law hasn't been done away with. Keeping the law brings forth life. Certain things we can do within society that's absolutely doable. For example, like keeping the dietary law, not eating pork, shrimp, lobster, crab, not committing adultery, not stealing, robbing. Hey, all of that is doable, man, within society. And then you got other things, for example, like preaching the scriptures, doing a work as a prophet, as Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai ordained us to do. And of course, not everyone's a prophet. But hey, to do the Lord's will at the end of the day. You know, you got a lot of helps who go out there on highways and byways to help. You know, they give alms, whatever it be, man. Point is to follow, like the scriptures also say, John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. Yahweh Shai himself said that, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Yahweh Shai said that, man. If you love me, keep my commandments. So obviously, we're supposed to be following after the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Bashmi Shai, 100% truth and sincerity. And of course, the best of our ability, 100%. So it says, and show my people their transgression. Hey, and you know, obviously, it says, in the house of Jacob there are sins. And again, it's not going to be a light thing when you call somebody out on their wickedness, man. That's why when we're out there on the highways and byways, you know, teaching and preaching, you know, it's scoffers be coming up, scorners and scoffers, or, you know, yeah, basically, you know, scorners and scoffers, you know, because why? Because we're calling them out. Really, man, we're preaching the gospel, but, you know, again, we bring out everything. We cry loud and spare not, but they get offended. Because like the scriptures say, the word is like a sword, like a two-edged sword. It cuts, between the bones and the marrow. It hits people deep. It hits people deep, man. So that's why there's a lot of scoffers and scorners, because they're really getting rebuked, you know. And at the end of the day, they don't like that feeling. But what? Hey, at the end of the day, man, like the scriptures say, cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. So like a trumpet, man. You know, boldly, like Paul himself said. We can get it real quick. Oh yeah, Acts 4:13. It says, now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled and they took the knowledge of them that they had been with Yahweh Shai. Exactly, man, because they seen what? Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. You know, he himself was bold and he was an austere man. He wasn't no soft image like, you know, they painted ever since, the Renaissance period. You know, he's a soft, weak guy. Nah, man, Yahweh Shai was an austere, hard, strong man. You know, and then same thing nowadays, you know, just because from the apostles and others, the other apostles and the elders on down, of course, a great millstone. I'm gonna, you know, hey, man, you know, those men be going in hard, you know, like bull. And then a lot of people see that, you know, a lot of these people have been so immersed within, you know, plantation Christianity. So they think that, you know, a preacher is supposed to be a soft-spoken guy, you know. He basically supposed to, nah, man, none of that. Yahweh Shai himself was an austere man. Hey, it's a reason why, you know, people back then wanted to kill the prophets, man. Because they would go hard, like the scriptures say, like I just mentioned, the word of the Yahweh Bashmi Shai is like a two-edged sword. You know, it cuts, you know, deep inside, man. You know, like the scriptures say, cutting asunder in the bones and marrow, basically paraphrasing. So it really hits deep. Acts 4:31, it says, and when they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembled together, and they were all filled with the Holy Spirit. And they spake the word of the Most High with boldness. When we get that word boldness in the Greek, it's the Greek word parrhesia, parrhesia. It says freedom in speaking, unreservedness in speech, openly, frankly, without concealment, without ambiguity, says free and fearless confidence, cheerful courage, boldness, assurance. Exactly. So completely linking up with Isaiah 51 or 58 and 1. You know, at the end of the day, we bring out everything. You know, it's a lot of Jakes. You know, it's a lot of Jakes. You know, they call themselves prophets. They call themselves, you know, a man of the Lord. But they don't bring out the hard stuff within the scriptures. For example, when us brothers, of course, in Great Millstone, or like-minded brothers out there in the highways and byways, be bringing out stuff like Esau, so-called white man, he's going to slavery. America will be destroyed, but with fire. You know, Yahweh Shai will come back. You know, Yahweh Shai will come back, shed on blood, man. He's not going to come back, you know, with hugs and kisses, man. When Yahweh Shai comes back, he's going to come back, shed on blood. You know, it's going to be a lot of blood, man, and death when Yahweh Shai comes back. That right there is preaching and boldness. Because a lot of people, they would avoid saying stuff like that. Certain stuff within the scriptures that we bring out that is obviously not in lines within this world, or, you know, not in lines within this current Western society, right? But at the end of the day, we still bring it out. For example, one of them is, you know, that back then within Israel, you know, basically, a woman will become, you know, a woman when she's 12 or 13, or basically when she has a period. And that's the exact same time when she became a wife, no matter how old the man was. But what, you know, you got a lot of Jakes, they get emotional when they hear that. And just because we teach that doesn't mean that we do ourselves. Nah, that would be completely stupid to do something like that in this society. But what? Why do we bring it out? Because it's within the scriptures. You know, scriptures speak about the law of rape. You know, basically what happens. And just because we teach that, it doesn't mean we do it, because, again, that would be completely stupid to do something like that within society. But what? We bring it out because it's within the scriptures. That right there is speaking in boldness, bringing everything out. Another thing, speaking of boldness, is actually saying what the MOTB is, the mark of the you-know-what, beast. And that's run within Revelation 13 and 16. You got a lot of Jakes out here because they got that contract, the 501c3, they don't want to say it. So they're not crying loud and sparing out. That MOTB, according to Revelation 13 and 16, is a RFID implant. That's exactly what it is. And what we, bring all of that out, man. We don't hold anything back. And that's exactly what Yahweh Bashmi Shai wants. One who brings out everything, no matter, basically what, people be saying out here, scoffing and scorning. Nah, man, at the end of the day, we don't fear man. We fear Yahweh Bashmi Shai. Exactly, man. So going back to Isaiah 58 and 1, what does it say? It says, cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. And like I was saying, in order to do that, you obviously got to say hard things, man. Right? In order to show their people their transgression. Especially, since what? The Babylonian society raises you up to be, to live in sin, right? That's literally all people know these days, man. So to bring to bring out what's within the scriptures, how you're actually supposed to live. Hey, it's hard. It's hard. Hey, it's burdensome in a lot of Jake's ears. Look, Psalm 40:9. It says, I have preached righteousness in a great congregation. Lo, I have not refrained my lips. O Lord Yahweh, thou knowest. So again, we don't refrain our lips so we don't hurt people's feelings or, so we don't look bad. No, I mean, we bring out everything in the scriptures because as we know, basically, hey, ever since the prophet's been teaching, man, they always been demonized. So you think nowadays it's going to change? No, it's going to be the same thing like today. Oh, yeah. Acts 20:26, it says, wherefore I take you to record this day that I am pure from the blood of all men. Verse 27, for I have not shunned to declare to you all the counsel of the Most High. Yeah, obviously, for, Paul just say that. Yeah, for Paul to just say that, obviously, it was that there's obviously Israelites, who were refraining from teaching certain things. Because, hey, again, these people wanted the prophets dead for a reason. Yahweh Shai dead. They wanted Yahweh Shai dead, right? They wanted the prophets dead. The only prophet, in the New Testament, who, didn't die, or really technically was, or who wasn't killed, was Apostle John, but, John the Revelator, but he died in prison. But it says verse 27 in Acts chapter 20, for I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of the Most High. So that's exactly what we do. Even if, things are different now, even if, the Western society, even though it's, completely different, hey, but we still bring everything out that's within the scriptures, no matter how the people feel or what. But hey, just want to bring that real quick. Lord, when these brothers out there edified, Yahweh Basim Shai, Bashar Makakudash Brakathum, Shalom.